right, before we start, I got to ask y'all a question. I guess what they told me. Uh, and three people can answer. Actually, I'm gonna choose the three. How have you prepared for the season? So, it told me to ask the media members how they prepare for the season. So, Tim, you first. You have not. Me neither. Who else? Anybody else? Okay.
Spent as much time with my wife and my daughter as I could. Went on a family vacation to Mexico together for the first time.
Okay, because you know you're gonna be working a lot this season, right? Okay. We need one more. Okay. Okay, two more. You went to the doctor.
Got a flu shot.
Okay.
Doctor, went to the eye doctor. I'm good to go now.
Yeah, 50th year. Oh, congratulations. That's big time. Oh, 50. Okay.
I spend more time with the hubby because I
Okay. Oh. 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 I was like, oh. I'm like, is that allowed in the workplace? Huh?
the husband at home because knowing that I will be spending more time with my daughter,
Yeah.
the reporter. So yes, same with Dwayne. Making
Yeah.
34 years in December.
Oh, congratulations. Okay, perfect. All right. I know y'all didn't care about that, so let's ask the real questions. Okay.
In the game last night?
On the game? Um, yeah, man, it bothers me. Um, we should have won the game, to be honest. But I'll take the tie. But we're a better ball club than that. Defensively, our offense play well. Defensively, we're a better team than that.
There's a guy from Chicago who now plays in Dallas turned into a Packers fan.
Oh, you had to say now playing Dallas. That
I mean, you are in Dallas.
yeah, but that didn't.
Fans who are wondering how you became.
Yeah. So I wasn't into football when I first got into the NBA, right? And my head coach at the time, Monty Williams, told me that I have to have a football team. And the way the Bears were going, that probably wasn't going to happen. And Randall Cobb went to Kentucky, and me and him were really cool. He got drafted to the Packers. So I'm like, well, I'm going to just cheer for whatever team he goes to and realize we're a very good football club. And that's how it kind of happened. I just kind of been a Packers fan since. So it's 14 years now.
What's the recovery been like for you from the eye surgery, and how are you feeling now? And is there any lingering issues?
Yeah, eye feels great. The redness still, like these drops I have to put in my eye, which causes like a little redness and stuff. But vision is back. I'm ready to go.
So is this something you were playing through last year, and at one point you realized, like, hey, it's
No. I think when Gaff elbowed me, it kind of like caused some problems in my eye. Then in the summer, I always get like a routine checkup and realized that I had to have surgery.
AD, last year, it's no secret, there was frustration after everything went down with the trade. It's a new season now. What is your message to Mavericks fans heading into the season?
Same thing as last year when I got traded, and I had a press conference. Nothing changes for me. The goal is still to bring a championship here. I think we have a good ball club. I think our biggest thing as a team is just is our health. Staying healthy. Other than that, I think we can be fine. But I'm happy to be here. I'm excited to be here, and I want to win here.
Lady, tell us about what did you do this summer, and tell us the one thing that you're going to bring to the team this year that's different from last season.
I was recovering from eye surgery all summer, so that was my summer, and then moving to Dallas officially. And one thing different from last year, just try to be on the floor. Obviously, like I said, health plays a factor, and game one, I got traded, got hurt. So I don't know if it kind of, shaped our season or not, but because no telling what would have happened in those weeks that I missed. But just want to be on the floor as much as possible, and knowing that give our team a better chance of winning to ultimately reaching our goal, which is bringing a championship here.
Where were you, or what was your reaction to learning that the Mavericks won the #1 draft pick?
To be honest, I was at my house in LA and I forgot about the lottery. I don't know. I just got a lot of texts from everyone's like Cooper Flagg, and I'm like, what about Cooper Flagg? And they was like, you guys got the number 1 pick, and I'm like, oh, and I turned it on, and then I'm like, oh shit, let me call Nico real quick, and Nico was obviously smiling ear to ear, and then, but yeah, I mean, obviously I was letting them enjoy the moment. I didn't talk to anybody like what we were going to do with the pick or who we were going to draft or whatever. But as things kind of settled down, they kind of told me that we were going to probably get Cooper, and I was excited, ecstatic. He's a hell of a talent, can do everything on the floor. So, it was a great moment for us.
It joins you and Kai, former first-round picks. What is that relationship going to be like? Just kind of laying the land of, what he's about to do.
I mean, like I've said, to most people, he's in a different situation in the sense of as a number 1 pick, you're usually going to a team that is in a rebuilding mode. And it's going to be a lot of pressure on you to kind of help change that. For him, like he's coming to a team that's established and have veteran talent, and he doesn't have to do as much as a normal number 1 pick has to do, if that makes sense. Now we're still gonna, ask him to be Cooper Flagg for sure, but the pressure is not on him as much as it is, a usual number 1 pick who's going to a, usually one of the worst teams in the league. So the pressure is really non-existent for him, and we're going to try to make sure that we keep it that way. And putting the pressure, all on myself, and I'm pretty sure Kyle would do the same, and just let him focus on basketball and constantly getting better each and every day. So because we're going to need him throughout the season.
You come back from your eye surgery, obviously, do you plan on wearing protective goggles through practice, preseason, regular season games? How are you going to go about that part of the?
Yeah, that is a mandate from the doctor that I have to. So
Is there a time frame for that?
it's for the rest of the career. There's which I'm not too excited about. But so I've been wearing them in the summer, working out and everything like that. Trying to get used to them. But yeah, you guys will see me in the Horace Grants this year.
Have you thought about
Kareem's. No, it won't be like that. But I will have some protective eyewear for sure.
reaching out to Amari Stoudemire, who had some other issues with his eyes? He had a special made pair of goggles that he wore. Have you thought about considering reaching out to him?
I have not. I know his case what he had, and his was a little bit worse than mine. I actually talked about it, but I have not reached out to him about. Thank you. So, but I have not reached out to Stat about that.
You mentioned most of your offseason being about the eye recovery, but this is not obviously your first offseason. Do you feel like you've had a better approach to how you balance family time, workout time, and how you approach it in general?
Yeah. The recovery was about 4 to 5 weeks where I really had to let the eye rest and heal. So I had plenty of family time with the kids and stuff, and the wife. So, once I was able to start moving and stuff again, just start getting back to it, because usually, I'm working out and training, so I had to put it in overdrive, kind of let me catch up where I'm usually, at in the summer. But yeah, it's a balance, especially, having that summer, you kind of spend it with your family just because of when the season comes, it's go time, you're on the road, and obviously we're going away for training camp, which is just my first time in my career, going away, training camp, and then we got, game in Mexico City and all this stuff, so it'll be a little different, but yeah, that family time has reached its max for the summer. Now it's time to get back to it, pay the bills. So, yeah.
You got some history with D'Angelo. Could you tell Mavs fan what they can expect from him until Kyrie gets back?
Yeah, D'Lo's gonna push the pace. Obviously, we all know that he can score. He's an elite scorer in this league. He's very vocal. He wants to win. I know it's like this narrative. And it's all about situation too. But it's like this narrative that he can't win, he's not a winner. I've been up close and with him, and obviously now, he told me too. Have you guys talked to him yet?
You tell us.
All right. No. I mean, we had a conversation, when we were thinking about, getting him, signing him and stuff. And, he came to me and told me that he's ready. He had other opportunities, I think, for a little bit more money, maybe a lot more money. We didn't discuss numbers, but he wanted to come here and he wanted to bet on himself. And it's all about, opportunity and situation. That's what he told me, and I think he's very excited to be here, to help us reach our goal. So we're getting a motivated D-Lo. We're getting a guy who's ready to leave it on the floor each and every night, and don't worry if he doesn't, I'll be on his ass. So, but he's ready. He's ready.
Now that you're going into your first full training camp with the team, obviously a lot of veterans already on the team, but just wanted to get an idea of what your leadership style is like.
Definitely just gotta be vocal with these guys. Have to. Who's that? Klay. Oh shit! I got one question left. Just being vocal. Obviously this. At some point in your career, training camps start becoming the same. But for me, just trying to lead these guys, I know they're going to be, looking on me to kind of lead them. That's kind of what J. Kidd and Nico have been telling me, to do all summer. So I've been texting these guys and things like that, trying to get them ready for the season, especially when Kai's out. I know they're used to him kind of, being a leader and stuff like that, but I've kind of just taken on that role with the help of actually Klay as well. As being, 2 out of the 3 oldest guys on the team. We got a group of fairly young guys, right? Just trying to get them knowledge that I have and, try to lead them to success.
You guys are going to be playing in Mexico City. You just mentioned that.
Yep.
What are your expectations about this game and about playing in front of the Mexican fans?
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. I think I went my second year in the league with New Orleans, second or third year, I can't remember, but it was exciting. The crowd was, was great. It was a fun experience, so I'm definitely excited to go back this year as well.
Willing to experience any Mexican plates over there, or
Mexican who?
Mexican plates, Mexican food?
Oh yeah, I eat Mexican all the time. Yeah, my wife is Hispanic, so.
Which one is your favorite food?
Tacos. Yeah, that's it. Any tacos. I don't care. Tacos. And I got a Mexican friend too who's back there, so he's a Hispanic guy. So yeah, and I lived in LA for 6 years, so Mexican food is very big out there. So it's I like Mexican food.
Thank you. Thanks, Dave.
That's it? Cool. Don't come running out, ask me no other questions either.
What did you think of Dirk's tennis event?
I thought it was really cool. That was my first time meeting Dirk in person and getting to be around him. So it was really cool to kind of hang out and see the impact that he still has here in Dallas.
Cooper, thoughts on the Ryder Cup and also meeting Michael Jordan today?
The Ryder Cup was incredible. I've never seen a golf environment like that. It was so competitive. People were chanting. So it was cool. And I think meeting Michael Jordan is just, that's my GOAT. That's somebody I've always seen as a GOAT in my household. So I think it was a dream come true, but it was just really cool that he was able to take the time and was able to meet him.
What are your expectations for yourself going into your rookie year, and how have you and Jason Kidd communicated about what your role is going to look like as you go through your rookie year here?
Yeah, expectations-wise for myself, I think it's just about being myself, really, just going through it and not changing for anybody. Obviously impacting the game in a lot of different ways and doing everything I can to, impact winning at a high level. But I think as far as Jay Kidd and me have talked about, it's just being versatile. We have a bunch of guys that can do a lot of different things, so just utilizing that to our advantage. And it doesn't really matter who gets it off the rim, just get it and go and push it and initiate offense. And obviously that's something that he talked about before Summer League and, putting the ball in my hands and letting me bring it up. So I think just those sort of things are just being versatile and using that to our advantage.
Expect to do a lot of that as far as the ball handling responsibilities as Kyrie works his way back, D'Angelo being acclimated to the team as well. Do you expect to do a lot of that ball handling this year?
I don't know if it will be a lot of that, but I think kind of like I said, like between 3 or 4 different guys in the court at all times, you know, if we were getting a stop and just getting off the rim and going. Between me, PJ, Max, AD, like all of us can bring it up and initiate the offense, and so that's what we've talked about a lot, and just kind of letting that happen organically.
Have a
What
rare
are you looking forward
opportunity.
to the most as you get ready to start your rookie season?
Yeah, I think I'm just looking forward to the journey. Just starting it off, we have an incredible group of guys on this team, and everybody's been great so far. So I'm just excited to really start the journey and start getting back to competing and trying to win.
Any goals, in particular goals, individual?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's always goals. Obviously, I would like to be the rookie of the year and those sort of individual goals. As a team, obviously, I just want a lot of success, a lot of wins. We obviously want to win a championship, so that's a big thing. But I think, kind of like I said earlier, just being myself, if I can stay true to who I am and what got me here, I think that any of the personal goals and things like that will kind of work themselves out.
You have a rare opportunity to join, future Hall of Fame vets, but also guys that were in your shoes, Kyrie and AD, first overall pick. So what's that relationship like been with you?
Yeah, it's been cool. Obviously, some of the best vets in the league right now, some of the most experienced guys. So I think just having this opportunity to learn from them and as we've grown closer and being able to spend time around each other and get on the court, it's been really good for me to just learn so much from them and try and pick their brains and see kind of how they see things on the court.
Cooper, you've always been a high-profile player all your life. What has been your biggest adjustment to the NBA?
I mean, I think for me, it's just about fitting in, fitting into any different lineup, any different, who else is on the court, and just trying to impact the game. So just finding ways, no matter how small, just to be able to go out and impact winning at a high level.
What do you anticipate being the area of your game that will transition smoothly, and then where do you see the biggest area of growth for you?
I'm not really sure. All I know is I'm just trying to impact the game, like I've said. So it could be something different on any given night. Whether it's somebody else has it going, so it's me just playing off them and just helping out in any way I can. Whether it's defensively, just being versatile, trying to guard a lot of different positions and tipping a lot of balls and just getting deflections and things like that. So I don't really know exactly what it would be, but I'm just gonna try and impact the game in a lot of different ways.
A specific game that you got circled on your calendar?
I wouldn't say it's a specific one, but any game against any of my former teammates, I think it would be really cool and surreal to, be on this setting and in this environment and be able to play against them.
You guys can put lineups out there with, you and PJ and AD and Lively or Gafford. What do you just think about the collective size on this team?
Yeah, I think that's kind of what I talked about earlier, just having that versatility and utilizing that to our advantage and having guys that have really good size but also can play a lot of different positions, can play as guards and can handle the ball and can initiate offense. So I think having a really big lineup like that will help us a lot defensively, but also just we'll be at our advantage in a lot of different ways.
Cooper, I asked D-Live this, but how much Duke pride is in the locker room?
It's a lot of Duke pride. When we started media day, we're all doing pictures, and Kyrie and AD are going back and forth between Kentucky and Duke. So it's funny. Everybody has their own thing, and it always comes out.
What do you expect to learn from Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving, two guys who have obviously won championships, about what this process will begin to look like for you as you begin your own journey in the NBA?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's so much to be learned from both of those guys, and so much on the court wise, just the way they see the game, the way they make reads, positioning, the different spacing things as well. But I think also for me, it's a lot of it that I think I can learn is mentally. They've been through so much. So I think just trying to pick their brains mentally and what they've gone through can be really good for me to learn without going through it myself.
PJ said you refer to him as uncle. Where does that come from? Does he remind you of one?
No. I mean, I think it's just, for me, I feel, just young, very young. And so I just think it's funny that I call most of the guys Unc. I even called D-Live Unc one time, and he's, just turned 21. So I just think it's funny. I'm calling all the guys Unc and trying to make them feel old. But, yeah, PJ said I can't call him Unc anymore. Not there yet.
60-minute special on picking peas in Maine. What type of peas do you pick? And you talked about how peaceful that is. Can you elaborate on that segment?
Yeah, I mean, it was just like green peas, types of peas. But yeah, it was just peas. It's a local farm, and yeah, just in the summer, I think it helped build work ethic, honestly, and just, a lot of my friends got into it, and we were all just doing it in the summer. And in the summer, we wake up early in the morning, go out, get a basket, and 4 or 5 hours in a row just out in the sun, picking peas, making a little bit of money. But I think it's more just about the mental toughness that it helped to build for all of us, and the camaraderie of just it was our basketball team as well. Like our high school team, we'd all do it together in the summer, and so I think that was a way that we all kind of bonded and went through some hardships, and then obviously it helped us on the court as well, having gone through something like that. But I think it was just cool for me to be able to do something like that and get that experience.
Now that the whirlwind of, being the first pick in the draft is kind of over, you reflect on that. How did it live up to what you dreamed about as a kid?
I mean, it's surreal. I don't know if it will ever set in or like those moments will ever feel real, but I mean, I'm so grateful. I'm so blessed. It was such an incredible opportunity and experience for me to go through that with my family and my loved ones, having them right there with me every step of the way. So it was just really incredible, and it was an incredible couple of months.
You guys are going to be playing in Mexico.
Rookie of the Year. Did you talk with Paige yet after she won Rookie of the Year?
I haven't. Congratulations to her, obviously. She did her thing the whole year, was balling out. So that was really cool to see. But, yeah, I think it would be cool. Obviously, both of us, in the Dallas area, I think that'd be incredible.
Cooper, you guys are going to be playing in Mexico City. How do you feel about having this opportunity to play in front of the Mexican crowd, and what do you expect out of the atmosphere in that city?
Yeah, I'm excited. I've only played outside of the country a couple of times. I played when I was 15 on the under-17s in Malaga, Spain, and man, that crowd was incredible. So my expectations are really high. I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be a really, high energy environment, and it'll be a lot of fun to just kind of get out there and play in front of a different crowd, but a crowd that should have a lot of energy.
What did you gain looking back from playing at Summer League, and how do you feel your game has maybe grown, like, as you put in reps since that time?
Yeah, I think Summer League is just a great opportunity to kind of feel out the different spacing and different style that the NBA is. So I think, I'm just grateful for that experience because it taught me a lot about what the next level is going to look like and what it's going to feel like. So I've been able to take stuff, the film and all of that from both those games and just move forward and kind of learn a lot from it.
For most number one overall picks go to teams that are not very talented. You come into a team that's very talented. From that perspective, what changes from your viewpoint?
Yeah, it's something that I've said ever since the draft, and it's just feeling blessed. We have an incredible team, incredible guys, great vets who have, so much experience and can teach all of us young guys a lot, but then a lot of young guys as well who are really talented and are ready to kind of win now. So it's a different opportunity that I've been presented with, and I'm just really excited to, start the journey and really have a really talented team that can have success. Thank you, guys.
I don't think that was so much of a prank, but they told me to shake. They told me to shake everybody in the front row's hands. That was the prank. Trust me, I would love to hug a few of you. A few of you probably air hug and stuff. That's it. How you guys doing? You all right? All right, good. Should we get the J Kid news out of the way first? Yeah, I'm right on schedule, guys. Thank you. There's consistency here. I'm right on schedule, okay? Appreciate you. Just to answer those. It's been up and down emotionally, just because of the good days where you make progress and then some other days where you want to push your body to the limit, but you can. And I was dealing with some of that, but it's been a great journey thus far. Connecting with others who have torn their ACL or have dealt with traumatic injuries and are on their healing journey. We saw a few star players get hurt this year. That meant a lot to their team that are dealing with injuries or season-ending injuries, and just always praying for each other, always bigging up each other, always showing what our progress is. And I think all of us are trying to legitimately prove that we're like alien-like and we can heal, like Wolverine, sort of say. And for me, my advice, the best advice I got is just take your time. No timeline is going to be perfect. don't compare it to anyone else, and just enjoy the process. So that's what I've been doing.
Kyrie, do you have an anticipated timeline, like a goal in terms of a timeline?
Nah, I didn't even approach it like that once I got injured. Obviously everyone has their own timeline in terms of doctors coming on, giving their expert opinion. Analysts are going to do their thing as well, which I respect. I think for me, it was about going internal, figuring out what I can do to push myself to get where I need to be. And I've made that statement clear that I'm trying to be better than where I was, which is, it's a hard task. You know what I mean? I felt like I was in a great rhythm before I got injured. I felt like I was able to play 40-plus minutes a night, no problem. Was able to get up every rising, still have that love and that hunger in my belly, no matter what the season record said. So it's more of the mental approach I'm trying to get back to. And then physically, I feel like my talent, my skill will catch up over time as I continue to play against the best players in the world. So I'm grateful that I have good teammates and also good coaching staff that's being patient with me. And also our medical staff has been giving me supreme advice just to enjoy this, like I've been saying, and then also just don't pay attention to putting yourself in a position where you're putting a date out there and then everyone's kind of like, okay, and then you don't make that date, and then what happens? And then I'm in here asking, answering questions. It was a pushback, so I'd rather just let it be where it is and just play it every day and just push to the limit as much as I can and push myself. Who's that? Oh, he asked a question. I'll come right to you in a second, okay, brother?
Yeah, I know it's our first time talking to you since, but could you take us back to the moment when it happened? How did that make you break?
Oh, goodness. Man, you asked me to do that now? I feel like I've gotten past that moment, just being able to even watch it without the fear of the hurt that comes from it. It's just watching it happen, that play. At first, it was tough, and then maybe after a week, it lessened in terms of just a heartbreak. Where we were in the season was not ideal. We obviously were dealing with a very public trade. News around us, surrounding us all the time. A lot of people wanted to see us fail, and that's always going to come with the business. But I think for me, I felt like it was just compounding after I got hurt, where all the pressure started to mount on my shoulders, and I started to feel the burden of, okay, what's next? I'm coming into a contract year as well, or an extension, renegotiating with the team. Like, where does this leave me? I felt like I was at this value, and it wasn't just numerically, it was just naturally where I was playing. I felt I was top 15 in the world, and there was no doubt about it, and I was showing up every night. So being at that level and then having to go into negotiations, that's not the ideal position you want to be in, but I took it in stride. Grateful I have my stepmom, Shatali, being my agent. She's helped out a lot in terms of communication. And also she allows me to build, the contract that way I see fit. And obviously a lot of people were looking at the number that I was at or I should have been at, which is, of course, that's open for criticism, but I'm grateful I did what I did because now we have the team in the depth. And I didn't mind sitting down and allowing others to put themselves in position to lead the team until I was ready to come back. And I think that's what I've learned over the last few years is being able to sacrifice. As we all say, let's get all your money. But if you sacrifice a little bit of money, you can have the greatest team or the best team in the league or be up there competing as a contender. I'd rather that than everything being on my shoulders or AD's shoulders or Cooper's shoulders. So I'm grateful that we put this team together, and shout out to Nico and J Kidd and everybody that was involved this summer. So it was good to go from being heartbroken, getting injured, tearing my ACL, into now I'm getting ready to negotiate a contract, and now I'm the best team in the world. So I'm grateful.
Not to highlight your tenure in the NBA, but when you started, social media wasn't as prevalent, and you've lately been able to build a new audience with your Twitch streams. How has that been kind of connecting with your fans in a different way?
It's been amazing. You're absolutely right. I definitely grew up in a span. A lot of us grew up in where the internet and content was digested a little bit differently. Connecting with your audience was on a 100-inch screen, on big screens. People used to go places to go watch the games, and I grew up on TV with a large generation youth where they've been following me ever since. Now we have highlights on a 10-inch screen that everyone downloads, and that's basketball now. It's like, we had our commissioner come out and say that it was a highlight league, which I think, naturally everybody was like, what is he talking about? But it has become more fast-paced highlights, fast-paced, digestible basketball content, going viral, having the highlight play of the night instead of it being I'm sitting at home in comparison, when I grew up watching the NBA, I'm watching it with my dad, and we're watching specific games to watch the best players in the world because they're making moves that I can take into my game and I can learn. And I didn't have DVR just yet, so obviously we had to record it and then watch it back. But the difference now is connecting to people direct is just as important as being online, being engaged with your community, who you're growing with, going direct to consumer, as people like to say. It's important to have that ability to connect with people who really love you for you and want to support everything that you're doing and want to see your brand grow and are into the things that you're into, but also will challenge you to become better as an artist and creator and as a leader. So it's been great to develop the Twitch community on social other social channels, to be able to authenticate my voice and honestly speak about the things I want to. I did a stream last night. I don't know if anybody was watching, but I was like, I might as well do my own little media day before, but it was just me connecting, catching everybody up, praying for everybody. There's a lot going on in the world, so I'm always empathetic to that.
What are your thoughts on D'Angelo Russell and how well you think he'll be able to hold down the point guard position until you return?
I think D'Lo will be fine alongside all the other point guards. Guys in here, be patient with them. Okay, we have guys competing for spots, which is a great thing in our competitive space, but also it makes things challenging to make decisions as a coach. And we have some talented point guards who are going to put their best foot forward, and I'm looking forward to camp. All these guys pushing each other, and whoever comes out of that as our starting point guard will. And I'll be having my full support. And whenever I'm able to practice and get cleared for more 5-on-5 play, then get integrated. But I'm excited about where we are. It gives guys a chance to establish a role that they created themselves and also that they've earned. And they can earn the respect of their teammates, too, by their habits every single day without me being in the building. So I know what I bring to the table, pedigree and integrity-wise, as a professional. One of the oldest on the team now. I think I am the oldest with the most experience, which is crazy, guys. I'm telling you, it's telling you, I'm gonna leave this press conference and be like, I can't believe I'm the oldest on the team, experience-wise. I've been dreaming of this day, and now that it's here, it's crazy. It's mind-boggling, but yeah, it feels good.
Kyrie, can you just talk about, of course, going to Canada for training camp and also with the All-Star game, going to a USA versus World format, and just your thoughts about that?
I'm excited to go to Vancouver, get over there, build with our international community. A lot of our brothers and sisters that love the sport of basketball, that love the Dallas Mavericks, love me and what I'm building, and also just want to connect in a deeper level outside the game. So a lot of fans out there, a lot of basketball enthusiasts, and I'm excited to get there. And then in terms of the USA versus World, I feel like I think this idea has been baking for a while. The top 5 players ranked by whoever was international players. Just letting you know that we all pay attention to that as pros. Some of us a little bit emotionalized a little bit more. But we are paying attention, and I think it makes the league a lot better in terms of representing your country, and then also you have American-born players who are representing their teams and where they come from. So I think it's a great chance for us to build our international community and allow others to be at the forefront of the All-Star game. Ideally in comparison to the past where it's been more American-born, or we've had, a few foreign-born players where they take majority of the votes and there's 1 or 2 of them like Dirk or Yao. And, these guys are legends in their right. And I think, I don't think they would have minded going against the USA pros. So it'd be good. It'd be good.
We just have time for one more. Kyrie, did you think about your basketball mortality when you were rehabbing and kind of coming through your injury? You start thinking about your mortality.
What are you getting at? Go ahead. No, I know. Go ahead. It's okay.
At some point.
Yes.
Hanging up the kids.
Yeah. So it comes to my mind as a little bit more often than you would think. My journey for the last few years, falling. I don't think I ever fell out of love with the game. I think I just fell out of love with some of the characters that I was. Including myself, just playing a role instead of being human in this space. Sometimes the inhumanness gets to me in terms of how we're responsible to do, a lot. And I'm not complaining about my job at all. It just can be a lot when you're dealing with life and trying to balance basketball. There are priorities that take precedent over top of basketball, and some people understand that and some people don't, which is okay. But I was saying it the other day in terms of my mortality. It's like I have to be pretty crazy and maniacal to keep coming back after knee surgery after knee surgery. This is my 4th one. I don't take that for granted. So I know that there's going to be a time where I'm going to have to look myself in the mirror and be honest. Now is not that time. And it's a few years away, guys. I'm at least trying to beat some of my predecessors in terms of how long they played, whether it be 18, 19, 20 years, and have my name immortalized in there just to be able to be an example of a guy that continued to get better and fell in line with some of the guys that came before him as well. NBA history is very important to me. It's been shaped by a lot of different individuals. A lot of great people have done great things on the court and then also off the court. So I just try to follow that kind of brick road, as they say, and enjoy the fruits of the labor while also working on a retirement plan while I'm actively playing. That's probably something I could be honest with. Of tearing my ACL gave me a chance to work on my retirement plan post basketball, which I didn't really have a chance to do. I hadn't thought about it seriously. I was considering it. The veterans were coming to me and telling me, you need to be thinking about this. And it's not that you're getting ready for retirement. It's just preparing for what is your life going to look outside the game. And that's why you saw me active on Twitch. That's why you saw me traveling around the world, going to different places, had a fashion show in New York Fashion Week as well. So I take those things serious, like my passions outside the game, and I try to develop them. But at the same time, I know that I am singularly focused on winning championships and being the best that I could be and putting my best foot forward for not only the team, but for our fans and our community. Yes. Appreciate you. You guys be well.
For Klay, you spent some time at Wazoo earlier this summer. Can you thoughts about that?
Jacket.
And then Cam Ward's season thus far. I know it's been rocky, but just thoughts about the former.
I love going back to Wazoo. It will always be home for me. You can never forget about the people who supported you before all the glory, and Cougar Nation was there before I had any success on the pro level, so I always try to give my time back when I can. And I love Cam. He's going to be great in the NFL for a long time. Once a Coug, always a Coug. We support each other. And any rookie in any sport industry goes through rough patches, he'll see it through.
Where were you when the Mavericks first?
Where was I when we got the #1 pick in the lottery? I think I was in LA, and I think my guess, I was either in the gym or on the beach, but I can't really remember. But obviously, I was elated. I think the whole city of Dallas was excited, and now we got a generational talent and 3 #1 picks on the roster. I don't think that's happened since like the Showtime Lakers, so pretty sweet.
What are your initial takeaways of Cooper Flagg so far?
I think Cooper can be as good as he wants to be. He's got all the tools to be great as far as his height, his athleticism, but what I love most about Coop is he's receptive to information and he wants to work. And when you got those 2 ingredients to combine that with the athleticism he has, I mean, he can be as good as he wants to be, like I said, and I'm very excited for him. It's gonna be fun to be his teammate.
Some folks are calling. Will we see this year?
What version of me? Wow, that is a good question. You're gonna see a veteran leader, a shot maker, a versatile defender, and just someone who loves the game. I've loved the game since I was a child, and I've been blessed to grow up around it. So I want to make the Dallas fans proud that I get to play for their city.
Some folks are calling this the summer of Klay for a number of reasons. But for you, how have you balanced this summer for you? And more importantly, how has your relationship made you better as a man on and off the floor, and how that's going to move forward for you as far as your career?
My relationship with
Megan Thee Stallion.
I'm not going to talk about that, but I will say that every summer doesn't change for me because I know what it takes to go the distance, and there's really no such thing as an off season. The summertime is just as strenuous as the season, and you have to train as if you're going to play 100 games a year, and that's what I do. And it's easy for me because I love it so much. I love pushing myself. I love being tired. I love seeing what I'm made of when my heart rate's up, and I'll be ready just like I have been every season I've been in this league, and I'm excited.
D'Lo was very excited to see that he was going to get another chance to play with you. Obviously, you guys didn't get a chance to play with each other in Golden State, but what do you envision that partnership like?
Well, D'Angelo is a seasoned vet now, which is crazy. I remember when he was selected #1 or 2. I think he was 2. Now he's 11 years in. Wow, time flies. First thing when I heard we signed him, I was excited. It's like, man, we missed the opportunity to play with each other in the Bay, and here it is, full circle moment. And just in our times together this past summer playing pickup, whether that be in Miami or here, he's such a great floor general. He sees the game ahead of everybody else, and he's a very underrated playmaker. So I'm excited to play with a guard of D'Lo's caliber. I mean, we have a very deep roster, and that's what really excites me.
Clay, last year we asked you about Clayton Kershaw when he was at the game.
Aha, yeah.
Just your thoughts on his legendary career.
I mean, one of the greatest baseball players of all time, certainly one of the best pitchers of all time. And I won't even remember Clayton for his incredible athletic achievements. He was such a great role model. He's such an amazing human being, a family man. He was such a great teammate to my little brother, and I'll never forget that and how much he meant to the Thompson family. And it's so cool seeing him in Dallas. It's nice having a friend in the city before I even got here. And he is a first ballot Hall of Famer, and so much respect for what he's done for the game of baseball.
Hey, what did you guys learn about yourself holding training camp in Vegas last year, and what are your expectations for holding training camp in Vancouver?
Well, I mean, Las Vegas is an underrated basketball city. I've been going there my whole life, since 14 years old. AAU circuit to UNLV Rebels. I'm sure they'll have an NBA team one day. My favorite part was seeing the past players, the great players in Mavericks history, like Mr. Blackman and other guys, you know, Jay Kidd or JJ Barea, guys who really made an impact on this organization, still come around. That shows you what type of franchise this is, and I really enjoy talking with them. I mean, I remember talking to Spencer Hayward, which is really cool. I have so much respect for him. He's one of the greatest players of my dad's era. So anytime you get to pick the brains of guys who did it at the highest level before you, that's what I took away from that experience. I'm excited to go to Vancouver, though. I have great memories because I'm older than a lot of these guys. So I remember the Vancouver Grizzlies. I remember my dad was able to do broadcasting for them, and I think it's a beautiful part of the world. I'm from the Pacific Northwest, so I really appreciate the nature aspect of the city we're going to, and I'm already looking at hiking trails for our off day. I'm excited to just get some fresh air.
Clay, just a few minutes ago, or a few questions ago, you were talking about your passion every offseason. You said it's the same for you. We could really hear that come through in your answer. When you think about what the game of basketball has given you and what it means to you, not to get too Oprah Winfrey, but what does this game mean to you?
Well, we love Oprah. That's okay. The game means everything to me because I realize it's bigger than the name on the back of my jersey. I play for my family. I play for the people that I've been able to inspire. And I think of my father because he has such a tremendous career, being the first foreign-born #1 pick of all time. I represent that with so much pride because I've seen the footage of him going back to Nassau, Bahamas and receiving a championship parade in the 242, and that gives me chills when I see that. And I just know it's like basketball is a huge part of my identity because it's given me so much confidence since I was a little kid, and my greatest inspirations are usually athletes like Kobe Bryant, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Jerry West, Bill Russell, people who have transcended the game and become American icons. So I'm not saying I'll never be on their level, but I have great respect for the history of the game. And when you understand the history of this sport, you are appreciative of how far we've come and how great the game is and how much of a global brand it is now. It's truly incredible.
Mark Stein recently reported that you organized the mini camp that you all had in Newport Beach. What was the motivation behind that, and what was the reasoning to get the guys together before the season in order to do that?
It was just fun to go out there and be by the beach, and we shout out to Stan Sox. We had an incredible facility, NBA caliber. It was so fun playing pickup, getting to know the rookies, seeing my teammates, and just doing what we love. That's got to build a foundation for what's to come, and we all got to say our goals for the year, personal and team oriented. So I'm so excited just to get to Vancouver and hit the ground running.
What are some of your personal goals?
Some of my personal goals? Well, I would like to join the 50-40-90 club. That would be nice. You know, that's really hard to do. Some might say that's real ambitious, but you got to have big goals if you want to be great. I don't care how many points I score, minutes I play. I want to be an all-around player. I want to lead with my voice, by example, and I want to share my knowledge with these younger players and let them know what championship commitment looks like. Because it's a big task, but it's really worth it. You don't want to look back on your career and be like, if I would have done this, maybe this would have happened. You want to leave no stone unturned so you can just look back and be at peace with what you did.
Reflecting on last year, what did it teach you about the game of basketball and you as a basketball player?
Taught me control what you can control, because injuries, I know better than anybody, they can't be avoided, and they're a part of what we do. The NBA season really is like the war of attrition, like who is healthy and who peaks at the right time usually has the best shot at winning a championship. And, you know, just playing the amount of games I played at the level I did, I was proud of myself sticking with it. I thought, you know, I'm just happy we can get healthy. So, because the whole time, you know, we never really got to experience what a healthy Mavericks roster would look like. Maybe for one half against Houston Rockets in late February, but that was it. So it gets me very excited knowing that we have an incredible team. And once we get Kyrie back in the fold, I don't see why we can't win the whole thing.
Did it deepen your appreciation on your love of playing basketball and like your reason why?
Yeah, but I've always loved the game, and done a lot of reading this summer, and I'm inspired to even reach another level.
Klay, you've spent most of your career with Golden State. Can you just tell us what the Maverick organization means to you?
It's exciting. It's a chance to add a whole new chapter to my legacy. I watched the 2011 championship movie all the time, and I remember that run so vividly. I remember the performances by Dirk, by Jason Terry, Shawn Marion, J. Kidd running the point. And any NBA fan of my age remembers that run so much, because that team, they might not have been the most talented throughout that playoffs, but they exemplify what a team really is. Like, every player on that team knew their role. They knew who was their closer. They knew what spots to operate best in, and that inspires me. That's what I want. I want to feel that again in the Mavericks uni.
Thank you.
No problem.
Hope everybody had a good summer. Good to see everybody. Everybody's excited. Cool. Let's get to the hard part. No, this is the best part of the season for me.
You excited?
Yeah, I'm excited. We should all be excited. First day of school, and so everybody is ready to go.
Jason, what are some of the benefits of holding training camp in Vancouver?
I think when you look at, Vancouver, it's a ways away from Dallas. And so I think as a group, we always talk about the players being able to, hang out. I think it gives the coaches the opportunity to hang out with the players. So we have each other for a week and so we have a new coaching staff, pretty much new front of the bench. The continuity of the team, 13 of the 15. So we're lucky in that way that these guys know each other. But it gives us a chance to bond. And so, being able to have practice there, we'll stay away from the two-a-days. We'll have one a day. But it gives us a time to hang out in the morning, or have breakfast or have lunch or have dinner with the guys as coaches. And then also for me, to get to know some of the coaches. I've had the opportunity to work with Frank and Phil and Mike in LA and Drew. And so the opportunity to work with Jay and to hang out with Jay. Jay's a brilliant mind. And so I'm really excited about the opportunity of working with this coaching staff and this team.
What do you remember of playing there as a player?
Well, it's a long time ago. And so you talk about the Memphis Grizzlies or the Vancouver Grizzlies. And so it was a long time ago, but I always enjoyed playing in Vancouver. I thought they had great fans. and so they supported their team. And so for us to be able to go there, I think there's a preseason game being held there. So it's great to see basketball, not just in Toronto, but in Vancouver. And so, but for most of these guys that are going, there's only a few coaches, I think, that have participated in actually, coaching in Vancouver. So I'm excited. It's actually a homecoming for Jay. So we look forward for Jay taking that he gets to pick up the bill for dinner. So we're excited about that.
Aside from Kyrie, are all your guys cleared for camp?
Yeah, we're excited. As we all know, Kai is recovering from the ACL, and so everybody's able to participate in practice, and so it's an exciting time, and hopefully we can continue to say that throughout camp.
We talk about the process of putting together the staff, and it's rare that you have to replace an entire staff.
Yeah, it wasn't that, when you look at putting the staff together, it wasn't jump ship. This was opportunity for guys to climb the ladder. And so when you look at the guys that left will be missed, Sweeney, Duds, and Alex. Alex gets the University of Utah job. Sweeney goes to San Antonio, and Duds goes to Denver. So it's a compliment that we must have been doing something right, not wrong. But then to have the opportunity to be able to get Frank and Jay, who have been head coaches in this league, that are champions, to be able to have that here in Dallas on this staff is big. And then to be able to get Popeye, someone that when I was a rookie, I had the opportunity to play with. And his coaching career, he has won a championship. And so when you look at that bench, it's full of knowledge to help our group. And I'm very excited about to have that opportunity. There's a lot of, I've worked with Frank, role reversal here a little bit. But I'm excited to have him, as a teammate. You look at Jay and the things that he's done in this league, is incredible. Also, his international experience. When you talk about the Olympics and stuff, so he's full of basketball knowledge. So I'm very excited about having this opportunity with this staff.
With AD, was it in the eye? Is it something that happened during last season? Something that happened this summer?
Yeah, when you talk, I think he can probably answer it better. But from what I'm gathered, it's when Gaff hit him, and so for him to, and I'll let him tell the story, but that was the incident that caused this injury, and for him to have surgery.
Jason, you got a really unique situation here with Cooper as a number 1 overall pick, joining a team loaded with veterans and, with win now expectations. How do you balance the emphasis on his development and letting him learn through mistakes versus, trying to position this team, to be a playoff team and to be in the best possible?
Yeah, I think when you look at Cooper's situation, I think you couldn't ask for a better situation. When you talk about wisdom, you have quite a few people who have been in that seat as coaches or as players, as teammates. AD being one that's gone through this, Kai has gone through this, and so for him to be able to communicate with and understand, ask questions to his vets, and for his vets to share their wisdom of how to handle different situations, and then as a coach, being through what's coming for him, and so I think the biggest thing is just for him to be himself. We're not asking him to carry the weight of the Dallas Mavericks. We're asking him to be Cooper Flagg, and that's pretty special. And so I look at things a little bit differently. I think you guys have talked about 2 different timelines. We can only be in the moment, and that's just today, right? And for us to get better, and that's not just for Cooper, but coaches and players too. And so there's only one timeline, and we're here to win. And we truly believe that piece of the puzzle, when you talk about Cooper, can help us.
You've talked about him as a point guard. Obviously, leaned into that during Summer League. How much do you anticipate him playing point, and do you have a feel now for what the starting lineup would be?
To work backwards, there's no starting lineup, right? This is going to be competition. We're going to embrace the competition, and so that will figure itself out come come October 22nd. We'll let you know who starts then. We're going to look at a lot of different combinations from here to the 21st, and so I think for that, there are some spots that are guaranteed, but there are some spots that are open. So, and we have, a deep team. And so I think when we talk about championships or being a championship team, there's got to be some sacrifice. There only 5 can start. But as we know, we can learn from last year. Everyone will have an opportunity to start, and hopefully that's not the case with the injuries. But there are times when there's an injury, next man up. I think B. Will is a perfect example, and I'll talk to the team about that today, is, being ready and understanding, being prepared. I thought we did a great job. I thought the coaches did a great job, but I thought the players did an incredible job because they played hard no matter who started and who played. And they all believed that we had an opportunity to win. We're not going to win every game. We're going to make some mistakes, but we're going to learn from those mistakes and put our best foot forward to win. But I truly believe we have a great group, a deep group that can put a lot of pressure in a lot of different combinations. As a coach, sometimes I might have the wrong group in. Sometimes I might have the right group in. But we're going to get to learn each other. Our goal is to win, and that's to win today and to win tomorrow.
Jason, I know during the season, we often ask you some reflective questions and you're very focused on staying present in the moment. So before the season begins, what was the highlight of your offseason?
Oh, highlight. I had an incredible summer. Started 3 weeks in Norway. I think they do it right. An incredible, beautiful place. I think I saw every fjord there is. Understanding the nights or days. The light never gets dark. The food was great. Spent 2 days in Copenhagen, which was incredible. Incredible city. They all believe in bikes. It would be incredible to see us ride bikes here in Dallas, the way everybody drives. And so I had a great time with my family. Got to play a little golf. Got to play with some cool dudes in the Crew Cup. Will Hardy is an incredible golfer. I was supposed to start with that, but I'm going to end with that. But I again get to see, I don't know if you guys are into golf, but this weekend was incredible. I thought, congrats to Europe winning the Ryder Cup, but I thought Team USA showed a lot of fight. And so that was cool. What else did I get to do? That trip to Europe was incredible. And then I just ended all the vacation before this circus starts. I was in Montana for the weekend. I got to see another glacier, which was beautiful, and so got to do a lot of things outside.
Coach,
Yeah, thank you. One little thing, the Hall of Fame, that team that went in. As I said, I was the water boy, so that one slipped my mind. So thank you, Mike, for bringing that to my attention. That was a great honor, by the way. I kind of downplay that a lot, but I was very honored to be able to represent Team USA, but also to be on that team with Kobe and LeBron was really special. And to see that group and Coach K and Jerry, I hadn't seen Michael Redd and Booz for a while, so it was good to see those guys.
We've seen the videos and all the upward trending talks about Kyrie. Can you shed some light on exactly how he's going in his recovery?
Now, I don't do well with the medical, and I'm not a doctor, so when we do see Kai shooting, can we just refrain from saying ahead of schedule? That's bad reporting. I'm just giving you the answer to the test. He is doing quite well, as we can see, but he's not ahead of schedule, and so let's not say that. That's unfair to him and to the Mavs, because it's not true. And now, is he on schedule? It looks like it, and so a lot of the positive things are happening, But to report that he's ahead of schedule is not fair.
Hey, Coach, you talked about being uncomfortable, making Coop uncomfortable.
Yes. Go ahead. Add that, because you asked that question too about point guard, so I'll come back to that. Yes.
Well, this is just making him uncomfortable in general. How has that gone so far? What's your assessment, and how much more uncomfortable do you plan on making him in training camp?
I thought he did an incredible job with being uncomfortable. And we told the world that he was going to handle the ball. And yes, he was tired. And yes, he had a turnover. And yes, he made some great plays. And I thought he handled the situation as well as the 18-year-old can handle it. He has a talent to about winning. It's in his DNA. And so it would be unfair not to make him uncomfortable. And so I think he handled that this summer extremely well, of knowing that he was going to be pressed. But he gives us something that if he is pressed and he can beat it, it makes the offense so much easier for everybody else, because he's a willing passer and his IQ is extremely high. And so we'll continue to look at that, him having the ball. The more playmakers that we have on the floor, the game becomes beautiful. It becomes easier. There's a lot of guys that can handle the ball. We talk about it with PJ, AD. So we're going to look at him being able to handle the ball. Point guard, you can call it that. But when you look at today's game, how many positions are there? And so I think that's the thing is, he can play every position. I tend not to label our players as point guards or centers. Now, D-Live, yes, he's a center. But I think it would be unfair not to challenge Cooper. Again, he's 18. He's going to make mistakes, but also he's going to put us in a position to win. And so to answer your question about point guard, he can bring the ball, up off of a make. It becomes a flow, offensively. And so I think it just makes the game easier when you can have multiple guys that can dribble and who can pass. And so that's just something that we just haven't had. We've always relied on two people maybe to bring the ball, but now AD, at the 4 or 5, can bring the ball if you want to talk about positions. And so, just understanding that Cooper has a dynamic, a skill set that can help this team.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Great.
How was your summer?
Hmm?
How was your summer?
Summer was great. It was hot, of course. I spent majority of it down here in Dallas, just kind of like enjoying the city and taking some well time off, I would say.
Yeah, it's our first time talking to you since the extension. Man, what went into re-signing with Dallas, and what do you envision being here for the next few years?
Man, honestly, it was just, whenever I first got here, the atmosphere and the vibe was just like completely different from any other team that I've been with. Of course, it's only been 2 other teams, but it's just, I was welcomed in with open arms, and just ever since the first day, it just felt like, the chemistry, the relationships, everything was growing throughout the seasons that I've been here. And it's just like, of course, I was thinking of the off-court stuff. At the same time, I'm thinking of the on-court stuff, too. I'm close to home. I can get my parents up here easy, pretty much. But honestly, it's just like we one big happy family, And like I said, the energy is good. I don't feel like it's just anything too tense around the team. We can talk to each other about anything. And I feel like just, our relationships are going to grow throughout the season that I'm here.
Yeah, what are you looking forward to on the training camp in Vancouver? Have you ever been to Vancouver before?
This will be my first time going to Vancouver. And what I'm looking forward to is just pretty much just high intense practices. You know what I'm saying? Getting to know each other, building that chemistry, and just honestly just getting prepared for the season.
Last year, training camp was in Vegas. How did that help you guys throughout the season?
I feel like it helped us a lot, because that training camp, it was kind of like up and down. We had some guys out throughout the time, but we, just like throughout the season, we worked with what we had at the time when it came to just like injuries, all of the above. So one of the main things was just, approach the day just like you approached any other game, any other practice, just approach the day just like that.
What's your reaction to Mavs winning the draft lottery, and what have you thought of just Flagg and limited time you've seen him at the facility or whatever?
My reaction was just like Kai's, pretty much. You know, what was it, 0.2%, if I'm not mistaken? 1.8? Jeez, that was way off. Yeah, but 1.8, it's just a miracle, I would say. But yeah, the energy around just when I had found out, I was like, oh yeah, it's gonna be a good season for us.
With you, AD, PJ, and of course just the front court D Live, how great do y'all think y'all could be this year if everything works and, people can't stay healthy?
It's gonna be real good. You know, me, D Live, AD, pretty much all the guys that are gonna be out there when it comes to just everything that we kind of like build on. We already know just like what our jobs are. We know just like the energy that we have to put into it, the time that we have to work, and just everything we have to do off the court to be able to maintain that play consistently throughout the year. Main thing is with us, and everybody says this, we just gotta, make sure we stay healthy. And that's the stuff that we do off the court, on the court. That's pretty much it though.
And of course, Coach Kidd, he also talked about how there's gonna be a lot of different ball handlers.
Mm-hmm.
So you being a big, how does that translate for you and just affect your game?
Oh, I'm point guard, No, but honestly, just whenever I'm needed to handle the basketball, that's, when I'm going to. But other than that, when he says anybody can handle it, if the ball is in my hand and I see a straight line, I'm pretty much going to take that straight line and keep going with it.
Not counting you, but who or which one of your teammates will have a breakout performance this year? Not counting yourself. Who do you think?
I think it's going to be Live, honestly. I feel like he, it's been kind of rough for him. I would say it's his third year, right? The last 2 years, he's been injured on and off. And I'm pretty sure it's kind of frustrating, but at the same time, I think he's been taking the right approach to it and been going the right direction for sure. And just like his energy, he comes in with a smile every day. He's never frustrated. He doesn't let anything get him down. And of course, nobody wants to be hurt. But when it comes to him being hurt, it's just like, okay, this is another obstacle. I got people around me that can help me get through it, but at the same time, I'm going to get myself through it. So I feel like Live is going to have a great year this year, 100%.
Yeah, and I asked Kai about this as well, because both of you guys stream on Twitch, but what has it been like kind of building that community every time you post and say come in and say rinse due?
I mean, it's dope because it's a couple of people that were with me COVID years when I was streaming off a PS4 on like a big flat screen TV. Had no camera. It's just a dope experience just to kind of like build that community and have like like fans just come in, say some stuff, ask questions. It's cool because, I watch like all these other streamers, they do it, and it's like I don't want to, try to make it seem like I'm being like them. I try to kind of like do my own thing. I play games all the time. It's just showing people just, what I do with my off time. And, I try to get my wife on camera every now and then. She camera shy. She never wants to come and get on the camera, but she'll come every now and then. But honestly, just building my community, it's been just over the years of me being in the league, it's been a great experience because as I'm learning how to do a lot of stuff just on the streamer side, I'm learning a lot about more people when it comes to different cultures, different countries, all of that stuff. Because pretty much with a lot of people in my community, it's a lot of people everywhere, for sure.
Gav, who all did you work out with here this summer, and just what was the benefit of that? Anything you learned about any of the teammates you spent a lot of time with?
Main people that I worked out with for sure, whenever we came back to being in the facilities and stuff, it was just all the guys really, like PJ, B. Will, all those guys. Everybody that pretty much stayed in Dallas throughout the course of the off season. D-Live was here, DP was here. Just the usual, man. Just seeing how they elevate themselves throughout their work ethic. That's the main thing. And just seeing, how they come in every day and they handle themselves. It's kind of contagious because, it helps me lock into a different sense to where it's like, okay, guys are pretty much, balls to the wall, getting their stuff together, so I got to do the same thing. So I got to make sure I come out and be at the same level as those guys. So when it came to that, I just tried to piggyback off of their energy.
Going back to D-Live, you guys seem to have a really good relationship. From the outside, people are wondering who's going to start at center. How do you guys maintain a great relationship and ignore that outside noise?
Like you said, we just ignore it. That's the main thing. I don't think me or him really have just like a preference on who starts or who comes off the bench. We just come in and we do our job. That's the main thing. Last year, whenever I think that was the conversation, me and him talked to each other. We said, look, whoever starts, the person that's coming off the bench, we just piggyback off of what you did, come in and play with the same energy and work to win a game. That's the main thing.
I know he was hurt a lot, but what did you learn about Anthony Davis during your time on the court last season?
Man, what was not to learn about him? He is an elite player. From just, from my experience of like guarding him to like actually playing beside him, it's just, man, I would say the sky's the limit, but that would be setting the ceiling too low for somebody like him.
Daniel.
You talked a little bit about who you worked out with this summer, but I was just curious, as you're working all summer, are there any specific things that you worked hard on? Are there any things that you were looking to add to your bag, specific things?
Really just my body. I want my conditioning to be at peak shape, and really just maintaining and taking care of just like the injuries that I've had, and just trying to be 100% healthy, being ready to go no matter what's thrown at me, and no matter the circumstances. I'm always kind of like prepared for anything.
Last season was uncharted territory, not only for you guys as players, but Jason Kidd as a head coach. You talk about you guys are one big happy family now, but what did last season teach you guys about the game of basketball, and what did you learn like as a basketball player going through that kind of season?
It's gonna be dark days, for sure. That was the main thing. And getting through majority of the stuff, it was tough, kind of like at the start of the season, it was a bit, unbalanced, but I feel like that we took steps in the right direction, and throughout the majority of just like the mental frustration that we had, we stayed together as a team always. Whether it was doing something off the court, finding some type of ways to just go bond. Honestly, just even going to the same hotel room, just sitting there just conversing with each other, playing a game with each other, finding ways to just block out the outside noise, because honestly, that was the best thing that we could possibly do. It was guys hurt. They were trying to figure out ways if they were going to be able to get back throughout the season. But other than that, those were pretty just some of the main things that I've learned. It's always going to be dark days. It's always going to be some type of storm, but it's going to clear up sooner or later.
What's been the theme for this year for you guys as a group? Has Jason Kidd established what the theme is going to be for what you guys want to achieve, how you want to achieve, and the way you'll go about achieving that this year?
Not necessarily, but knowing him, the main thing for sure is just winning games, staying healthy and winning games. I would say.
Daniel, now that you have some extended time here, what areas do you think you have grown personally off the court and on the court while in Dallas?
I feel like off the court I'm talking a lot more. I'm being a lot more vocal. I'm not shy as I used to be. But really just on the court, just kind of being assertive, using my voice a lot more, and just being able to kind of like find ways to impact the game without necessarily having to touch the ball so much. Those are some of the things that I'm working on, because there's going to be stretches down the line where I'm just running up and down the court. Main thing with that, just making sure my conditioning is good. Other than that, blocking shots, being vocal, making sure guys know their assignments on defense, learning the game as I go, and being able to, if a question is asked of me, to be able to give that advice out and give the information that is needed, pretty much. Yeah. I got a question for y'all, though. Real good question. What can I expect from all of y'all?
Excellence.
Hey, that's a great answer. I appreciate you guys. All right.
Elaborate on the upcoming season and what you're most excited and looking forward to.
I'm most excited to finally get on the court with everybody, getting everybody back healthy, and just being able to play basketball again. Super blessed to be here, and I'm just excited for our season. Obviously, we feel like we have a great team, so we're just excited to get on the floor.
You have a really talented front court. How important is sacrifice?
Backcourt too.
How important is sacrifice going to be with all the guys you have and all them, and only so many people can play at one time?
It's going to be really important. We have a lot of great guys on this team, a lot of guys who are aspiring to win, and at the end of the day, we all know we can't play at the same time. So just being able to cheer your teammate on whenever you're not in the floor and just have a good attitude, I think it's going to take us a long way.
What version of PJ will we see this season?
I don't know. I guess you guys are going to have to wait and see. There's going to be a lot of fun moments, I can tell you that. I have a lot of energy, a lot of pushing people around, being mean, so I'm super excited.
He's going to have a breakout season, not including yourself, but your teammates.
Everybody. Yeah, everybody's been in the gym working, so everybody's gotten way better, and I can see pretty much everybody's growth in their game. So I'm excited for them to go out there and show you guys.
How did the extension come together for you, and what has been defined potentially as your role this season? Obviously, with the addition of Cooper, Flagg, some new guys, how is your role going to be defined? Has that been a conversation for you already?
I think just coming out here and just being myself, being versatile. I feel like I can play with anybody on the floor, no matter who's out there. And I just feel like I just can be a mentor to Cooper, just help him as much as he can. Obviously, he's 18, so just try to be a bigger brother. He makes me feel old all the time. I think he called me Unc a couple of times, so I'm just like, yeah, I don't understand, but it's all good. I can't wait to see him out there, and I'm just excited. He just brings a lot of joy and a lot of youth as well.
As far as the extension is concerned, how did that come together?
It was good. I think it went smoothly on both ends. I don't think there was anything that wasn't sure. I mean, everything was good, and I pretty much knew it was going to happen. So I knew I was going to be here, and I'm excited that you guys finally get to see it as well.
One, you are definitely not Unc age yet. And then two, you mentioned your teammates earlier. Talk about the potential that DSJ can add to this roster. I mean, Dallas is familiar, but you're also familiar with him as well.
Yeah, I mean, Dennis, that's my guy. I played with him in high school. I played with him in Charlotte. So when I seen he got signed here, I texted him, I'm like, I'm glad I get to play with you again. He's just a person that's going to come out and give his all each and every night, guard anybody, and just be a dog out there. And you love playing with guys like that. So I'm super excited for him, and I'm just happy he's back.
PJ, what did you learn about playing with AD last year? What did you learn about AD?
I learned a lot. I mean, just seeing him in person and playing on his team is a lot different than playing against him. So just him being able to affect the game on the defensive end is just as much as on the offensive end is great. I think him being a leader for us is great as well, too. So he's another guy who's been there and reached the level we want to reach. So just being able to pick his brain, just like Klay and Kai and all the great guys we got on our team. So he's another great addition, and he's a superstar player for sure.
Over the last year, it's been made pretty clear that defense is an emphasis for this team. How dominant can this defense be this year?
We feel like we can be the best defense in the league. We got guys that can guard multiple positions, and for us, it's all about communication and just doing it every single night. It's not about potential; it's about showing it, and we feel like we can do that.
You think about the standing on business moment that you had, like you're kind of known for that now. You know, how proud are you that your effort and, you know, just kind of going out there and being an aggressor is like a big part of your game?
Well, I mean, when I did it, I didn't think nothing of it. I was just being myself. But just trying to go out there and just set the tone, I would say, and for my team. And just I'm going to ride for all my guys. Whatever's out there, I'm going to just be the first one to get into a scuffle with somebody. So I think everybody knows that. And just trying to go out there and just bring that energy every night.
And then when you signed with Dallas, you kind of called, you know, Dallas feels like home in your press conference, you know, a few years in now. Like, how much more real is that statement?
It's always been home for me. So I'm just, like, again, just blessed to be here. I've always wanted to be here, and hopefully I end my career here. So this is home to me, and I always want to live here. So I'll be telling my wife and kids that all the time. So I think they love it just as much as me now, and I'm just happy I get to embrace the city.
Going back to the versatility on the roster, I think a lot of attention is going to be paid to how well you guys shoot on the perimeter. Where do you see your role in the three-point shooting?
Just being able to knock down shots. I feel like there's not too many guys on the team that can't shoot, so I think everybody will be able to take some threes and knock them down. I think offense won't be a problem. I'm sure people think it will be, but for us, we don't see that as such. We got a lot of guys that can get the rebound and push it up the floor and start the offense. So that's one of the main emphasis we've been working on in the summer, and I feel like everybody's comfortable in the offense and comfortable playing with each other as well.
You mentioned working with a lot of your teammates and being able to see clear signs that their game has grown and that they've improved. Reflecting back on your offseason of work, what would you say is the biggest area that you feel like you've improved as you head into next season?
Being able to create off the dribble, playing in pick and roll, being able to come off, make the right passes, just being able to read the defense better. And I would say just I've been working a lot on my mid-range jumper and just being more consistent, just shooting the ball in general. So pretty much everything, but those were specific things.
How important is that improved playmaking going to be with Kyrie missing that big chunk at the beginning of the year?
I think it's going to be big. I feel we have a lot of playmakers. D'Angelo, he's a great addition to the team. B. Will's been working on his playmaking. Jaden's been working on his playmaking. Everybody's been doing a little bit of it. So, like I said, once anybody gets the rebound and be able to push, we feel comfortable with anybody being able to initiate the offense. And I think that's going to be really well for us.
When you look at this roster, it seems like you guys are two deep, sometimes 3 deep at every position. What's the ceiling for this team?
Our goal is to obviously win. So that's what we strive for each and every day. And we come in here with a championship mentality. I think Klay was the one that told everybody to play the 2011 championship run every day in the arena. So we come in every day, and that's our mindset, and that's where we want to be. So it's just a championship mentality each and every day, and it's just starting day one.
Yeah, you guys are going to be playing in Mexico City November 1st. What do you expect out of this game, and how do you picture yourself in front of a different crowd, the Mexican crowd? Can you please tell us about that?
I don't know what to expect. I'm very excited, though. I heard the fans are really good out there, so I'm excited to go out there and get to play. I've never played in Mexico, and I've never been to Mexico City, so I'm super excited, and I can't wait to see how it is.
Planning tasting or trying different Mexican food, or you're gonna stick with the hotel food over there?
No, I'm definitely gonna try some good food. No, I can't just stick with the hotel food out there.
Elaborate on
Kids this summer. Sorry, you posted a lot of pictures of you with your kids this summer. What was Daddy PJ like this off season?
Oh, a lot of changing diapers, not too much sleep, but a lot of fun, and I've enjoyed every second of it. I know they're gonna be mad I'm not gonna be here for next week, so just trying to call them as much as I can and just calm them down. But it's been a joy, and I love every second of it.
elaborate on what you said about Klay with the 2011 championship is like what's playing in the arena?
I think it's like a bunch of different players just talking about the run, and Klay wanted it to be in there every single day just to remind us what it's like, what it was like for them back in the day. So just to give us extra motivation and extra fuel to the fire.
EJ, you just talked about the comfort of home and family. Now that you head to Vancouver, what does that do for the team being outside the norm of being home?
I think it just takes us away and just try to limit distractions, put a focus on basketball, and just start the season the way we want to. Like I said, from championship mentality. So just going out there each and every day and just trying to get better, trying to learn as much as we can about each other, and just grow. Thank you, guys.
How has your off season been as far as your recovery? Where are you at as far as your progress with respect to your injury coming into this upcoming season?
Feel great. Feel strong. Been patient. Been spending a lot of days in the gym, just doing what I need to do to strengthen my body, strengthen my mind, and get myself ready for the season.
Daniel Gafford shared that he thinks you're kind of going to have a breakout season this year. What are your expectations for yourself?
Just to learn from last year. I know I missed some games last year, and I'm going to make up for that. I'm trying to make sure that I play as many games as I possibly can, be as consistent as I possibly can, and do whatever it takes to win.
There's an element of fan frustration last year after the trade. It's a new season now. What's your message to fans heading into the season?
Turn the page. We have a new star to look at. We're trying to win a championship for this year. We can't change the past, but all we can do is focus on the future.
Obviously, you guys got Cooper Flagg, #1 pick. You have a history with him. Just what do you expect from him this upcoming season?
He's going to be a dog. He got a lot of energy. He's always trying to learn, and he got a lot of competitiveness. So I know he's going to do great things. I just can't wait to be there with him. Can't wait to pick him up when he falls. Can't wait to lift him up when he wins.
You say is the biggest part that stands out about his game?
How much he knows how to play, the details of the game versus how young he is. I can say that I got in here whenever I was 19, but he's 18. So just thinking about that, it just makes it seem like there is no ceiling for him.
Speaking of learning, what did you learn about playing with Anthony Davis last season?
Understand his position and where I need to be, understand how I can play off of him. And if 2 people is on him, then I need to present myself where I need to be. Be an outlet and not allowing him to just feel like he's isolated. I got to make sure that he knows that we all have his back out there.
Derek,
Gosh.
with the recent passing of your mom, and sorry for your loss, can you talk about the support that you've received from your teammates and what you are looking forward to this season?
Love my teammates. They really is my family. You know, I don't have a lot of people out here, and I'm with them every single day. So, you know, they pick me up on good days and even on bad days. So just having people here who have the same goal, don't want anything but the best for me, it just makes me feel like I can be the person who I'm supposed to be, who my mom wanted me to be.
Derek, one thing that kind of gets talked about here is Derek Lively. Do you expect him to become shooting threes and stuff like that? Mark Cuban's talked about that this summer. Do you expect yourself, do you see your role shifting at all when it comes to offensively? Or do you see it kind of staying the same from what we've seen over the first 2 years?
Not forcing it, just allowing it to come to me. You know, trail three, corner three, just finding the bits, the times, and the right times to shoot the ball in the game and not trying to force it. I'm trying to make sure that I'm doing what's right for the team and what's doing right for myself. Going out there and shooting 10 threes ain't gonna help nobody. But going out there and making 2 to 3 and getting a bunch of rebounds, that's what I'm supposed to do, and that's my job.
Derek, you and Coop were recently at the state fair. I know you've gotten to spend some fun time together as well. Is it exciting to have somebody else that is young, I mean, even younger than you, kind of learning the ropes that you're almost a veteran too? Like, what is your dynamic?
That's crazy. They call me a vet now. I'm just trying to show him the ropes. You know, I've felt his position. I've been here not knowing what to do, not knowing what to expect. And, you know, being in that position is really hard to understand what's the right thing, what's the wrong thing to do. And I'm here to make sure he always knows what's the right thing to do. You know, make sure he always has someone to fall back on. And, you know, he's the #1 pick. Everyone's going to be all eyes on him. So I'm going to do my best to, you know, relieve the pressure off of him and allow him to realize he's still human.
Derek, how have you recovered mentally from the injuries? Who has helped you? What has helped you? Where'd you go inside yourself just to get your mind?
My friends and family, you know, the people who've gotten me here. You know, taking the trip, taking the camp all the way back in Philadelphia, doing the camp down in Dallas. It really centers myself, you know, seeing kids who are 12, 13 years old or even 8 years old looking up to me with stars in their eyes. It makes me that much more motivated, and it shows me what my job is to do, and that's to motivate the next generation.
Derek, I know Dante's got a pretty good collection, but do you have the best Pokemon collection on the team? And how do you use that as a mechanism to develop relationships with people?
You never know how many people, what hobbies they do, what things they interest them. So you never know. Like, I'm an NBA player who's a nerd. You know, I like Legos, Pokemon, and fish. So I've never been able to expect that I can reach the amount of people who I have been, no matter if they're in their 70s or if they're 7 years old. They're coming up talking about Legos, fish, or Pokemon. So it's just, I'm excited, and I've been happy to connect with people I never thought I'd be able to.
You guys will be playing in Mexico City on November 3rd. What are your expectations for that game, and what do you expect out of the atmosphere in that city?
I'm really excited. You know, I'm excited to see the culture, excited to see the people and try the food. And I'm definitely excited to bring an NBA game down to Mexico City. You know, I'm just hoping that we have a lot more fans when we leave there.
What do you think about the NBA efforts to keep expanding the league to other different countries than the U.S.?
I love it. You know, there's a difference between watching an NBA game on TV versus seeing it in real life. Feeling the energy, feeling the crowd, everything about it is something, no matter where you are in the world, you should be able to feel.
Speaking of other countries, you ever been to Vancouver before, and how do you feel like going after training camp is going to help you guys out?
Never been to Vancouver, but it's a new place with the guys. None of us have ever been there, so we're all in for new experiences. And being able to go into a new atmosphere, a new place that we've never been before, we're all clueless. So we're all going to be leaning on each other to figure out where to go or what's the right thing to do out there.
Derek, going back to the Legos, Pokemon, and fish. 1, do you have a favorite fish that you fish for? Are you a bass, crappie guy? And then 2, what was your best Lego build of the offseason?
Best Lego build of the offseason was a 3.5-foot Yoshi. And I do not have the patience to fish, but I have 5 to 7 fish tanks. So I have a bass in there, but I would definitely say my favorite fish are discus fish. They're really beautiful, but they're really hard to take care of.
Derek, you're listed as 7'1". Have you grown any this summer?
I believe so. I would definitely say I have, and I just got to get the exact measurement, but I'd say 7'2", 7'3".
You're a father now to a little girl. Like, how has fatherhood changed you as a person and as a player, and what that means as you start to move forward in your career, in your life?
having that new added weight. You know, at first it was me taking care of my mom, and soon after it became me taking care of my daughter. Just having that new weight, having that new form of responsibility, you know, waking up at all times of night to change a dirty diaper, make a bottle. I feel old now, which is funny to say. But it makes me that much more grateful, and it shows that I gotta make the life for my daughter that I want. I never want her to go through the things that I've gone through.
Let's take 2 more questions.
Derek, so at the end of last season, when you had that injury, you were out for a while. You came back right before the play-in. Then this offseason, you had surgery. When you came back, did you think that there was a possibility that you were going to have surgery? And just kind of walk us through what went into your recovery, and if you knew that you were going to have surgery, or if that's something that kind of happened after the season.
Happened after the season. It was a day-by-day type of decision. You know, it was more of just thinking to myself, what is going to give me the best longevity that I'm striving for? What's going to allow me to focus on basketball and not have to worry about other things that I don't need to worry about? So doing the things that I did in the offseason, it prepared me to play as many games as I possibly can for this season and many seasons to come.
How much Duke pride is on this team?
Oh, great. You know, I could definitely say that Duke versus Kentucky has already started before the season even started. You know, when we're going down there, Duke picture was already getting interrupted by a Kentucky dude, no matter if it's PJ or if it's AD. It's actually great having that little bit of competitive nature in the locker room. It makes it that much more better when we play in 5-on-5 in practice.
All right, appreciate it.
Y'all have a good one.
It's good to be here. Really good to be here.
Congratulations on your engagement.
Thank you. Thank you for the 100th time today.
D'Angelo, what was the motivation? First of all, welcome to Dallas.
Thank you, thank you.
Motivation for signing here, and why was this the right fit for you at this time in your career?
I think the motivation was, you know, going where there was some semi-mutual, you know, agreements. The NBA is it's a wild west, you know, you never know where you're going to be. So to get the opportunity to be here, I know how good the organization is from, you know, from top to bottom. So for me, just want to go somewhere where there's some structure, there's not a lot of motives to prepare for the next season and things like that. It's all about now and who we got here now. So just want to plug in.
Been very public with how excited you are to play with this group. From the outside looking in, what did you observe about this team, and what do you think you guys can be as a collective?
I mean, you look at a team that has, what, like 12 or 13 of the returning guys from last year, and you plug in somebody like myself, you know, I think I can just only help, you know. I mean, then you add Kyrie trying to get back. I think that's just another piece that'll allow me to just kind of help around him and what he's already done here. And like I said, the coaching staff, something I'm really excited about as well. I never played with a coach that's really, you know, dominated the game as well, you know, sees the games through our lenses as well. So truly excited about that.
What do you see your role being on this team, especially with Kyrie out until later in the year?
Just being a basketball player for the team. I think, you know, I keep using the word plug in. This team's already pretty they are who they are. The identity's there. You'll see a healthier AD this season. You know, you'll see guys that were probably banged up last year and the year before being, you know, in full health this year. So just being able to plug in and help this team win games no matter, you know, how that may look.
What was your experience like just being teammates with AD on the Lakers, and how excited are you to be reunited here?
He's good. He's good. I enjoyed, you know, really, you know, with the Lakers being able to, you know, I would say assess myself on defense, but also challenge myself at the same time, and always know he has my back. And then you add Lively and Gafford and all these other dogs around him. I always thrive in situations like that where I know there's bigs that just really hold down the, you know, the paint, and allows me to be a little more aggressive on the outside.
You're obviously a respected veteran guard, but you're joining a team that has Kyrie Irving, a future Hall of Famer, and Jason Kidd, a Hall of Famer. What kind of talks, discussions have you had with them about running point here in Dallas?
I haven't had any. I think when you name Kyrie's one of the best combo guards in our league ever, and then you add J Kidd's one of the most pure point guards in our league ever. So for me to be a combo guard and also a point guard, I think that alone says itself where I can fit into the conversations that we'll have in the future. But any that we've had in the past, or I haven't had any just looking forward to those genuine, pure relationships.
What have your initial thoughts been of Cooper Flagg?
It's good. I held my thoughts. I got to cross paths with him. We obviously went to Mount Bird, so I've heard a lot about him. But I want to kind of formulate my own opinion. You know, see him front row, see him, his work ethic, and I mean, checks crossed all around the boxes. I don't think I said that right.
Checks all the boxes.
Checks all the boxes. And he, I think he's going to be ready to translate to the league right away. You know, from his body, from his motor. You can't really teach motor, so I think that skill alone's underrated. And then you add his shot making ability and, you know, will to win and all that other stuff. I think he's gonna be really good.
You know, you've worn number 1, number 0 in the past, but what went into the decision with number 5?
There's only one available. A lot of players here have retired numbers, and a lot of players have all the cool numbers here. Just a guy just trying to plug in. That's what comes with being the new guy, I guess.
How would you define yourself as a player at this stage in your career, and what that means to plugging into this team with the skill set that you have and how that works?
I think figuring out the balance is, you know, what you use training camp for, use preseason for, use first games to get acclimated. I don't know, so I think we're gonna really put that to the test the next few weeks.
Over the past few years, one thing that Nico Harrison has consistently talked about is Mavericks culture. You've only been here for a short amount of time. You're starting to get to know your teammates, but what do you kind of see Mavericks culture as, and how do you plan to add to that in your career here?
I mean, you look at Nico, it starts from the top. Nico's a smooth dude. Then you look at J Kidd, he's a smooth dude as well. And I think that's where the culture kind of, you know, starts from. Those two dudes come with this, you know, relaxed aura. You know, they don't really look stressed. They don't look like they're worried about anything, and you can see that feed off into the group. Everybody's kind of, you know, poised. And I consider myself one of those guys too. So just looking forward to plugging in once again.
I've heard a lot about Klay kind of rerunning the 2011 championship. Growing up, did you know, kind of have your eyes on that run, that Mavericks team?
You said Klay? What about him? Say it again.
2011 championship.
Playing that team, you said?
The film from it.
Oh, there's a lot of, they're replaying it. Yeah.
Your, you know, takeaway from that team? Did you have your eyes on it when you were kind of?
Yeah, it's. I think it's a great way to, you know, keep establishing what we're trying to achieve. You know, having J Kidd, someone that was a part of it, you know, being able to kind of reassure like what it took and what it looked like. I think that's something that, you know, you see it every day, so you want to fall in line and, you know, want to work every day because you know it's going to achieve a bigger goal. So, a lot of good guys here you can just follow. If you don't know what's right, you can just follow. So being a young player is a great situation to be in, and to have a nice amount of vets to kind of reassure that as well. Where else would you want to be?
You mentioned plugging in quite a bit. Do you have any like specific feats? Like Klay said he wants to go 50-40-90 this year. Do you have any?
I'm a big body guy. If I can be healthy, I like my chances on achieving whatever happens. So just being healthy.
We know that you're an avid golfer. You love the game. How was your Ryder Cup experience this past weekend?
You talking about my Ryder Cup that I host? Oh, the pro. Yeah, I didn't go actually. I wanted to go. Was feeling a little under the weather. I wish our fans treated those guys a little better. You know, from the distance, I saw it kind of looking a little rowdy, and a lot of those guys didn't deserve the heckling that they got. But I guess it's part of the game nowadays. But it looked cool, looked epic. A lot of those guys said they enjoyed it.
Feeling better now?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
In your experience moving teams, you know, what's the easiest way to kind of build that chemistry in a short time?
I think just breaking the ice, you know, with genuine relationships, letting them build over time. A lot of new coaches, a few new players. I don't think it's going to happen right away, but like I said, there's a lot of continuity from guys that were here from the past, so it's easy to kind of just fall in line.
You said that playing alongside Klay Thompson is going to be like pretty much NBA 2K.
Exactly.
Envision that partnership.
I'm super excited. I watched him last year here, and he probably be the first one to tell you he didn't have the year he wanted to have. So seeing him, you know, with the glow that he has this year and wanting to become and be the player that he was in the past, I just want to help it. I know it'll help me, it'll help him, it'll help the group. So
you were weighing your options of free agency and you decided to come to Dallas, were there any players specifically that reached out to you to kind of try to recruit you to come to the Mavs?
I don't think necessarily recruit, more or less. There's only a few NBA players in the world, so having that relationship goes a long way. And I could weave out, the guys that, I probably didn't see myself playing well with. And when you look at this team and the making of it, I feel like I could just plug in and be well guided to help this team however possible.
Can you describe the workouts at Newport Beach and the intensity of those workouts and what that did for you guys to bond as a group before?
Yeah, it was good. It was real good. Shout out to Klay. Hospitality was unbelievable. I think a lot of the good teams that I've been on, some of the vets, gather a lot of the younger players, few coaches, staff, to be out there and kind of, be vocal just so those voices are heard. And then it's just straight basketball, straight, weights and preparing for the season. And we got to do it for about 4 or 5 days. And a lot of guys brought that energy. So it kind of it allowed me to break the ice, something that usually you do around this time. But we got to do it, almost a month ago. So I think that just gives us another advantage.
What kind of fun activities did y'all get to do out there off the court?
I know Klay hosted us at his house. There was a bowling thing going on. We golfed a little bit. He kind of set up the platform for us to do kind of whatever we wanted to do. And the guys that, did golf, guys that bowled, guys that wanted to just hung out. So he set it up nice for us.
Last question.
As we discussed earlier, you've played in the league now for a little bit. What's like maybe the biggest lesson you've learned in the NBA up to this point?
Biggest lesson?
I don't know.
I think just, understanding, what the approach you should have, going into each situation. They're all different. My approach for this team and this situation is completely different than my approach my rookie year. And I also have some experience and understand what I'm preparing for versus kind of walking into it blind. So I would just say for the younger players, be a sponge, be open-minded, and deal with the adversity because it gets easier. And then for the older players, continue to spread that love, spread that game to the younger players that, may not know how to ask the right questions. Go out of your way to give those answers. So hopefully I answered your question. Cool.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate it.